Hello everyone. So for this video, I decided to try something completely different from what I usually do for this channel. Normally I just play a video game and make comments and make sounds around video games, scream and all that stuff. But I felt like I wanted to go a little bit away from that and maybe share my thoughts on the internet. Now I understand that saying your opinions on the internet is like lighting a match in a room full of flammable oil. But I felt that I just wanted to give this a bit of a try. And just remember, I am not an expert at sharing my own thoughts and opinions, nor am I a very good reviewer. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I mean, that's pretty much that. Also, I might have, I'll try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. I mean, I'm definitely not going to say much about like the ending or anything like that. But I might touch into some of the minor plot points or some of the major plot points. So I'll just set a spoiler warning just up ahead in case you're interested in seeing the movie yourself. So with that, let me talk about this movie here. So Katie and I went and saw the Super Mario Brothers movie just over the weekend. And I will say that, overall, Katie and I both really liked the movie. It was a very fun, a very goofy story. There was a lot of great scenes. There was a lot of funny moments that Katie and I actually laughed at. So that's a big plus for me. And if I were to get a bit more specific, the story was fairly simple, and it's Nintendo played it really safe and played it very, very close to the source material. I don't think they really tried to do anything, anything risky. They didn't try to go for like a deep emotional journey for Mario, Luigi, or any of the characters. This was meant to be, you could think of it as a very long Saturday morning cartoon for kids. And I think that's how they try to make it. And on that perspective, I think they did a really good job. This movie is definitely tailored towards the younger audiences, and it's definitely tailored more towards the fan of the games themselves. There are definitely literally tons of references to the game series, to the entire game franchise. The visuals and the animation made by Illumination, they did an extremely good job. The action sequences looked amazing. The animation was very smooth, and it was very it was very cartoony, which is what they were going for. And, I know that they took some liberties and tried to touch up on the human characters a bit. Mario, Luigi, and Peach are tried to make them a little more slender, a little more human than you would see in the video games. But, that never really, it's not really great game breaking. It's not really something that would break my immersion at all for watching a Mario movie. And the soundtracks, I really liked. I mean, they're basically, rearrangements or touch-ups of the original soundtracks of, just more of the well-known music from the Mario series. There is even some Super Mario Galaxy music here and there, and I think that was really, really, really cool. The one thing that really took me out of the movie, though, was that they also added like hit songs from AC/DC, and they've even added a couple more songs which I actually forgot the names of. But yeah, I really wish they didn't do that, because it kind of doesn't really fit with the aesthetic of the movie. I think they should have just stuck with the original soundtracks, or at least made original soundtracks that were like a lot closer to the source material than Thunderstruck by AC/DC. You know what I mean? All the characters in the film were performed extremely well. I know that going into the movie, there was a lot of controversy around Chris Pratt and Charlie Day's performances as Mario and Luigi. A lot of people will think that Chris Pratt doesn't really fit the character. And to me, Charlie Day sounded, like he would sound like in Sunny, Always Sunny. Like, I didn't really notice any difference between his character there and his portrayal of Luigi. But overall, they both did a really good job. I was proven wrong about both of them. I did feel early on that for Chris Pratt to do voice acting as Mario, he was going to lean one of two ways. He was either going to go towards more of the Italian accent, more along the lines of like the video game franchises Mario, or go more towards the Brooklyn accent with the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And I'm glad he went more with the Brooklyn accent, because I think it fit really well with the story anyway, since Mario and Luigi start off in Brooklyn. And the only real way that any of their performances would be hindered would be the writing. Like, how would they voice their lines and all that? But no, they had really good direction, and the writing was decent enough. So it never really took me out of the film. They both did a very good job. And I gotta say, I also really enjoyed, I believe her name was Anya Taylor-Joy, her performance as Princess Peach. I think she nailed it. I think Princess Peach's character was done really well for a Super Mario character. And I did understand early on during the development that there was some debate over how they were going to portray the Princess Peach's character overall. Like, it was some fight between Illumination and Nintendo, where they didn't want the damsel in distress kind of character. That she was going to be, she's going to be a lot more of a fearless leader type, more of a hero type in the movie. And I guess there was a back and forth about it, but overall, I think the character turned out great. She was a very strong female lead in the movie, and I think this was one of the better interpretations of how Princess Peach should be treated as. Because we all know that, despite a lot of the games, she's the captured princess that needs to be rescued. She's on the other end, she's also a playable character. She can do just as many feats as Mario can. And she even has her own game and even some of her own segments in a lot of the Mario games. So there isn't really any debate over whether she's going to be a weak character or not. She was always going to be, some kind of badass character. And I'm glad that they made her that way into the movie. And of course, the character who stole the entire show, and who is my favorite character, and I would believe it's everyone else's favorite character, was Jack Black and King Bowser. He was both an intimidating character and also a hilarious character at the same time. His song about Princess Peach kind of still stuck in my head for a little while after I saw the movie. And there was even a YouTube video of him singing it, and him, as Jack Black, and he's like dancing around, and he has a little like helmet with a red tuff to portray him as Bowser. It was kind of funny to see. I'm really glad that, despite him getting older, he could still like perform like he would always do when he was younger. So it was really good. He still has that energy, and he pretty much carried most of the movie. I gotta say, that's how I feel. Now, I will like to share like a few points where I felt that, maybe there would be some places that could be a little better. For instance, I felt like the first half of the movie felt a bit rushed. Like the very start of the movie, I think the setup was very well done. But going into the first half of the film, it kind of felt like they made some segments a lot shorter so that they can get to, from the first major plot point to the next one. Like, for example, there was an entire montage around, Mario's training, which, I think was well done. Then they kind of did a montage where they were like journeying from the Mushroom Kingdom over to see the what was it, the Kong Kingdom or the Jungle Kingdom? And they just made that incredibly short. Like there was like a scene here and there, but they kind of made the journey like the minor short thing. And then that was it. But going into the second half of the film, the second half was really good. I really liked the second half of the movie. That's where pretty much all the action was anyway. So I felt that they could have stretched that first half just a little bit because they were jumping around everywhere. I felt like they did want to try to rush like the setup of the characters so that they can just get to the action scenes faster, which is fine. I think it's fine for a family-friendly movie, for a kids movie. Like the kids want to see the action, and that's it. I get it. I get that. But the movie itself ran about an hour and 32 minutes long. And the funny thing about that is when Kitty and I got out of our seats at the end of the movie, we looked at our phones at the time on our phones, and we were like, did we just sit here for an hour and 32 minutes? Like we literally thought, and it was an hour and 32 minutes. And when I looked it up online about what the length of the movie was, it was in fact an hour and 32 minutes. I thought that was really funny. But aside from that, if they did like stretch it a little bit, maybe make it closer to 1 hour 50, closer to 2 hours, I think it would have done a little better. I would really love to see more of, the journey and to see more of the Mushroom Kingdom, because the Mushroom Kingdom looked really cool, and I liked all the moving parts that were happening inside the kingdom itself. But I think they showed just enough for this movie. I mean, that's just I know I'm kind of like nitpicking here and there, but overall I still like the movie. I still think it's good. The only thing I'll say is, if you are going into this movie not knowing anything about the Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers, any kind of the game series at all, and you're expecting some kind of like emotional or deep kind of journey, you're not going to find it. The character development, there is none, because it is what it is. But this movie is definitely for younger audiences and for fans of the game, because there are so many references just jam-packed into that hour and 32 minutes. You probably want to go back and watch it again just to see if you can catch every single reference for that movie. If you were to ask me if I wanted to watch the movie again, I probably wouldn't. I saw the movie already. It was fun. It was goofy. It was silly. And I'm pretty much done with it now. I mean, there isn't really anything that I can attach to that makes me want to watch it again. That's just how I am. There's not a lot of things that make me want to go back and watch things twice. You know what I mean? So with that, I think I'm going to end my thoughts here. Thank you for listening to my stupid ramblings. And hey, if you already saw the movie, leave in the comments what you thought about the movie. Try to avoid spoilers if you can, please. And with that, thank you once again, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everyone.